Now, President Trump continues to be having a very, very difficult time adapting to the White House and has been reportedly taking it out on his staff. Now, there are several different sources for the leaks coming out of the White House. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to start out with Politico, and then I'm going to go from there. Now, according to the sources that talk to Politico within the administration, Donald Trump has become increasingly frustrated over the Jeff Sessions recusal into the investigation into Russian interference. Now, they write, prior to departing for Florida in Mar-a-Lago, where he would be spending the weekend, Trump convened on Friday a group of senior aides in the Oval Office, including Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, Steve Bannon, and Mike Dubke, and, of course, Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Now, the meeting, Politico writes, got a little heated once it turned to the topic of Jeff Sessions. Now, what Trump wanted to know what was the logic of the move, of him recusing himself, because it makes him look bad, right? The president made it clear that he thought the whole thing had been handled poorly and that Sessions shouldn't have recused himself. His exasperation was apparent. At one point, Trump addressed White House counsel Don McGahn, who was in the room, said directly and said he was unhappy about the turn of events. There were, quote, fireworks, said one person briefed at the events. So, look, this is an indication that obviously he was very unhappy with that decision, especially since earlier that day he came out and said, we are 100% behind Jeff Sessions. He will not recuse himself. Oh, look, he just recused himself. Fuck, we look stupid. So that's what happened there. Now, in fact, during one conversation with an associate on Friday, he expressed concern that Sessions recusing himself made him, quote, made it seem like he had done something wrong. And of course, Donald Trump, he hates to give ground and he hates to admit making any mistakes. That's not his thing. Now, that's the account from Politico, which seems rather nice. Now, ABC News also had a source which summed it up a little differently. Trump was said to have, quote, gone ballistic before heading off to his winter White House in Florida, summoning some of his senior staff into the Oval Office. Trump fumed, reportedly, over reports on his administration's relationship with Russia. ABC News' source noted that Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner and Ivanka were in attendance during this reported rage session. Rage session. I love it. As were, of course, Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, Bannon, Don McGahn, and, of course, Sean Spicer. Now, this was described as, quote, an animated exchange, and apparently a plan-altering one as well. Since after the meeting, normally Bannon and Priebus, well, they tend to go to Mar-a-Lago with him. At this point, they did not. He was very, very angry. Now, one source said both men had volunteered to stay behind, with another source saying that the president seemed to concur that they should. Sidelining key staffers with whom he was angry was an occasional Trump tactic during the campaign. Now, as President Trump was in the air aboard Marine One, heading for Air Force One, a last-minute phone call was made from the West Wing to the team on board of the president's plane with a directive to remove Priebus and Bannon from the manifest. They would not be coming to Mar-a-Lago. So, okay, Bannon, Priebus, gone. Fascinating. He's not taking them to Mar-a-Lago. They are not going to the winter White House. That's how you can tell he's a little angry. All right. Now, actually, this is where Washington Post picks up the story. They write, upon reaching Mar-a-Lago, Trump was reportedly, quote, mad, steaming, raging mad. So you can tell the difference between the three different publications here. One was like, oh, well, it was a little bit of fireworks, a little heated, and then it goes to mad, steaming, raging mad. And these are all from different sources inside of the White House, with some obviously playing it up, and some seems to be playing it down. Interesting. Now, they also write that when Trump ran into Christopher Ruddy on the golf course, and by the way, Christopher Ruddy is a right-wing, he's the CEO of Newsmax, which is a very right-wing publication and a friend of Donald Trump. Now, he talked to the Washington Post and said that when Trump ran into him on the golf course and later at dinner on Saturday, he vented, saying, quote, on President Obama, this will be investigated. It will all come out. I'll be proven right. Now, this, of course, is related to that tweet storm that he did on Saturday, accusing President Obama of tapping his phones based on a story from Breitbart and InfoWars. Now, that's right. So this is where he's getting his information. He's getting his information from InfoWars. He's listening to somebody who says things like this.
It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
I mean, seriously, that's what we have.
I want to go to space. I want to see interdimensional travel.
This is the guy, okay, Alex Jones, who's crazy, who talks about aliens and Satan.
It's the devil, okay?
Okay, he literally thinks we're under assault by the aliens that are also in league with the devil. This guy's crazy pants, and yet the president of the United States listens to this guy. No, insanity. And of course they come up with this huge conspiracy theory, which does have a kernel of truth to it, to be honest, as a lot of conspiracy theories start out with having some little element of truth and then taken to extremes. And the whole issue of the wiretapping is, well, either a FISA court thought that it was that they had a case to tap Trump Tower, to tap the lines, or President Obama was doing it illegally. Both things are, I suppose, are possible. And there would have to be an investigation. There would have to be some facts on it. And you know who could look up those facts? The President of the United States. He would have access to those files. He would have access to that information as president. So if anybody could find out if this is true or not, it would be Donald Trump. Fascinating. But anyway, back to Ruddy. Now, when he was talking to Trump, he noted that Trump was, quote, pissed. I haven't seen him this angry. So this is from a friend. Okay. So, look, and it's not just about the Obama administration possibly tapping his phones. It's also about the news coverage following what he perceived as a successful speech for the joint session of Congress. So, in fact, the Post also writes up this. The merriment after Tuesday's speech came to a sudden end on Wednesday night, when the Washington Post first reported that the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, had met with the Russian ambassador, despite having said under oath at the Senate confirmation hearing that he had no contact with the Russians. The next morning, Trump reportedly exploded, according to White House officials. He headed to Newport News, Virginia on Thursday for a commander-in-chief moment. The president would trumpet his plan to grow military spending aboard the Navy's sophisticated new aircraft carrier. But as Trump, sporting a bomber jacket and a Navy cap, rallied sailors and shipbuilders, his message was overshadowed by Sessions. And that goes to the point. Overshadowed by Sessions. I don't like being overshadowed by my staff. No, how dare you overshadow me? I'm the president. I'm the president of the United States. Child. Baby. Sad. And look, speaking of sad, it is a little sad and disrespectful for somebody who didn't serve in the Navy to be sporting the jacket and the cap. I'm just saying. Especially somebody who got 5 deferments from active duty and then claimed to have bone spurs. Seriously. Now, okay. So, again, basically the whole issue here is that Trump was super angry that his speech was no longer the focus of the news, but instead Jeff Sessions. Now, he got pissed, flew off to Mar-a-Lago without Bannon and Priebus, which, by the way, Bannon, well, he can't just stay out of the action. Bannon took his own flight down to Florida and actually arrived on Saturday. And again, this is where the Post picks it up. Now, since Donald Trump was so angry, he was fuming at this. Well, Bannon and some of the other advisors had to get together to make him feel a little better. Quote, that night at Mar-a-Lago, Trump had dinner with Sessions, Bannon, Homeland Security Secretary John F. Kelly, and White House Senior Policy Advisor Stephen Miller, among others. They tried to put Trump in a better mood by going over their implementation plans for the travel ban, according to a White House official. So basically what they did, oh, Donnie, are you upset? Are you here? I know you're mad. I know you're mad. Here, look at this distraction. Look, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And of course, like a child, it actually kind of worked, at least for a little bit. The Post writes, Trump was brighter Sunday morning as he read several newspapers, pleased that his allegations against Obama happen to be the dominant story. Because it is a big story. And again, he has to have the attention, right? Because he's a narcissist. And like a narcissist, he gets mad when people don't pay attention to him or don't defend him. Quote, he found a reason to be mad again. Few Republicans were defending him on the Sunday political talk shows. Now remember, this guy watches 6 hours of TV a day while he's supposed to be working and being the president. No, he's too worried about, oh, are they not defending me enough? Republicans, you got to defend me. I'm the president. I'm the president. Why aren't you out there defending me? I am so angry with you. He cares more about, hey, Republicans aren't out there defending me and my accusations than doing his job. It's amazing. And not only that, but look, when they do this, they have to treat him as if he's a child because he acts like a child. He is a child. Throwing a temper tantrum when he doesn't get enough positive attention. And what, of course, leakers of the press tell us what's actually going on. Because, again, part of his anger, too, is these continuous leaks. And, of course, that's how we get a lot of these stories. And look, it's not just one leaker, but it's actually 17 different leakers that have talked to the press. Fascinating. Look, this administration, this is a disaster. When you have that many people going out there and leaking to the press about how dysfunctional your administration is, you know that it's not going to last. This is a house of cards waiting to blow over. The question is, how long will it last? And when it goes down, how much damage is it actually going to do? Only time will tell. But I can tell you this, we're not winning. It's going to be a disaster. Sad. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.